Hello there, Emma Thornley's here, and this week I'm talking all about how we can deal with uncertainty in our lives or other people in our lives without losing our mind, without reaching to escape or to block out what's going on for us. Whether you, your child, your young person is facing exam results, for example, A-level results have been released this week, or GCSEs next week, whether you're waiting for some other form of result, whether it's medical, job search, or just dealing with life changes. We all have to deal with the fluctuations in life. And so I just want to send some tips and some ideas about how we can navigate this. And right now, a lot of people are facing uncertainty, not just through their own life decisions, but just what's going on in the world. And we just have to be able to sit with what's going on and to face what's dealing with and wait to see how things unfold, particularly if we're waiting for something like exam results and deciding whether we go to a certain university or apprenticeship or whatever it might be. And when we are sitting in that kind of limbo state, waiting, where we're not necessarily in control, it can create a lot of worry, uncertainty, fear. The anxious mind can start going a little bit crazy, and our brain can become what I call a kind of 24/7 disaster film director, that it can imagine every possible scenario, usually the worst ones, and extrapolate that and go on and on and on, and leave us feeling worse about ourselves, about what we're facing, and we can reach to escape or lash out at others and create unhealthy habits or lean on things that aren't really serving us and can actually make us end up feeling worse. So to start off, I just wanted to share about why we struggle with uncertainty. It's totally normal. Our brains, our egos are wired to have some stability, some certainty, that we know what's going to happen to some degree. And it's our desire to feel something that's most important to us. It's our sense of safety. And when we put it like those terms, thinking about safety, of course, that's of paramount importance. As soon as we haven't got that control, that we don't feel that safety, even if you know it's not life threatening necessarily, it can still cause us to spiral into fear and worry. And because we can't fast forward to the result, because we can't get the immediate gratification that so many of us are used to getting these days, because we don't know, we try to fill that space, that gap, by overthinking, by scrolling endlessly, by making what if plans, replaying actions, looking at everything in forensic detail, or escaping, numbing, whatever it might be, because we are looking at ways to try and deal with this discomfort, this unease, this not knowing. And the irony of all of this is that none of this actually gives us any certainty. It can actually amplify the discomfort that we are facing. So there is, and I know it can feel hard to even see this when you're kind of sitting with all these things, there is some value, there is some benefits of this in between stage, that we can find some ways of dealing with this and actually get to know ourselves and experience this in a different way, to be curious about what's going on. This time, this space isn't empty, it's fertile soil, it's an ability for us to create new knowledge, it's to develop new skills, and this uncertainty can teach us something, and some of the most valuable skills that we'll ever have. So bear with me if you're struggling to see that right now. So, first off, being quiet, not knowing, gives us a breeding ground for us to emerge the clarity that we may be looking for. So if we're quiet, if we're still, instead of scrambling for answers, and instead of looking for it all outside of us, or having these fears and worries that we can't control, if we stop doing all that, we give space, we open a blank page for insight to arise. So we can then start to see what we truly value, what's really important to us, or start to hear the voice or the voices inside of us that's saying, actually, I'm not sure if I really want that, or I'm uncertain, I'm unclear. That we can start to listen to ourselves, and actually think about what's most important to us in these moments. Secondly, developing patience is actually a superpower. Patience in a world that wants everything now, instant gratification, a world that rewards kind of speed, the ability to just pause, to stay grounded, sets you apart instead of just rushing to the next thing or reacting to things. Decisions made or just being connected to that place of stillness, from a place of calm, living from that place, making decisions from that place, listening to that place, are much more likely to be aligned instead of just going on autopilot, or still instead of just doing what we think we should be doing or what's expected of us. They're much more likely to be aligned and more effective than those made in panic mode or just dealing with it in a very reactive way. If we can meet ourselves wherever we are with absolutely bucket loads of compassion, which is one of the most underrated but most powerful transformational powers, if we can see where we are, if we can allow ourselves to be with what is and just sit with it and say, okay, this is tough right now, we will be giving ourselves space to see what's really important to us and make decisions, create actions from this place of being connected to who we really are. The third way is actually discomfort signals growth. So if you feel tightness in your chest or weight in your shoulders or churning in your stomach, it often means that our body is sending us a signal that we're on the edge of something that is meaningful. Again, our brain doesn't automatically run to that. Our brain wants that to go. It wants to push it away. It wants to end that. Growth rarely happens from a place of certainty, of a place that we know that we are calm, we are relaxed. It happens when we're feeling stretched, when we're feeling that kind of push or pull or uncertainty. If we allow ourselves to explore that, to explore those feelings, those pains in our body, with some curiosity, with some compassion, to see what's really going on for us and have a dialogue with it. Ask ourselves, okay, what is my body trying to tell me right now? We're much more likely to have some answers and be with ourselves in that. To give ourselves what we most need, instead of jumping out of the side of ourselves and again reacting to decisions or fears or worries. Again, totally counterintuitive to be sitting with this and giving ourselves that compassion. We're not taught how to do this. It's usually not modeled to us in some ways. So 3 very tangible ways that we can navigate this weight, this uncertainty, this waiting to see what's going to happen next. We can't speed up to the outcome. That's not in our control. What is in our control? How we experience this kind of limbo, uncertain time. Firstly, we can name what's happening. So instead of like saying, oh my God, I just don't want to think about it, or I can't deal with this, or I'm terrible at waiting, how about we reframe that in a different way, saying, okay, I'm in this period of uncertainty and worry, and I'm feeling this tightness in my shoulders or my neck, and it's okay, it's out of my control, but I'm just in this waiting time. And part of me is really struggling with that. By labeling it, by separating it from ourselves, purely identifying it, it gives us some just space, even if it's a tiny bit of space, to be able to navigate this weight in a slightly different way, a slight shift about how we're experiencing it, instead of really identifying with it and just being in all worry, fear, stress mode. Next up, anchoring into the present. When our mind races to the what if or the worry or the fear, bring it back, taking a deep breath. I know a lot of people talk about a deep breath, but there's a reason for that. It is really powerful. And just say, okay, what do I know for sure right now, right here, right now? I know that my feet are on the floor. I know that it's Tuesday or whatever day of the week. I know that the weather is whatever it is. I know that I have to wait until X time, or I don't know until when I'm going to find these out. I know these things. And maybe if we can be with this, we can say, I know I'm going to be okay. I know I've got support around me, and maybe naming those supports that you've got around you. I know that I've got tools that I can use, whether it's journaling, whether it's talking to somebody, whether it's breathing, meditation, yoga, running, whatever it might be. I know what you know, and only you know the answers to that. Thirdly, we can ask ourselves some better questions. So instead of just sitting in the fear and worry, which, yes, it's important that we acknowledge those and don't just try and run away from them or numb them, but how about we ask ourselves other questions as well? It's like, for example, what is this moment also inviting me to notice? So maybe identifying there's other voices that are going on. There's not just the fear and worry. Maybe there's a little bit of excitement about maybe what might be around the corner. Maybe there's some concerns about how other people are dealing with this in your life. Maybe there's other good things that are happening in your life. It's identifying there's lots of other parts and voices and things that happen in our life. For example, our exam results are not the whole of us. They do not represent who we are as human beings. They're just one part of our life, and we can put so much pressure on ourselves and each other. They do not measure the whole of who we are. So thinking about ourselves, what is that we notice about, what are we inviting, what can we see about ourselves, and the bigger picture in this moment. Another really powerful question is, okay, not only what am I experiencing, but what do I most need right now? What do I most need? I need to be with myself. Do I need to give myself some care and compassion, some understanding, some space, some dialogue with myself, or talking through with a friend or someone that we trust? Listen to what comes up. It might not be what you expect, and take note of what's happening. And most importantly, give yourself what you need. It might not be jumping to food or alcohol or whatever substance, scrolling, whatever it might be. It might be something more nourishing. It might be just being with yourself. It might be just listening to that part of yourself, giving the kindness, giving yourself the compassion, which again sounds so simple, but in practice can be really quite tricky. Even if we can't give ourselves the compassion or the kindness that we give to a friend or loved one, just being with ourselves and say, okay, it's tough right now. And maybe putting your hand on your heart or whatever feels comforting or calm to you. Give ourselves a hug. Do what we do for our best friend or someone we really care about or love, that we do for ourselves. Making friends with the pause, making friends with this period of time, again, counterintuitive. No one loves uncertainty. Let's normalise that. Nobody loves it. But if we resist the urge to fill every gap with action or worry or fear or what if or whatever it might be, we actually might discover something quite surprising. We might develop more skills, more self-trust, more resilience, a deeper understanding of who we are and what we really want in this moment. And whether you're waiting for results right now, a job offer, a life-changing decision, whatever it might be, remembering this is part of the process. Sometimes the real transformation happens before the answer arrives. So if you and or your young person in your life or anyone else you know are caught in this kind of in-between time, experiment with this. Sit with what you experience. Listen to it. Label it. Give yourself compassion and see what bubbles up inside of you without having to do anything else. I'd love to hear how this goes for you and any other tools or experiences that have worked for you, so we can learn and grow together. And whatever you're facing, sending you so much love and luck, and you're not alone. Please do reach out anytime if you would like some extra support. I'm here from you, and my biggest fear, my biggest why for doing this work is that I hate the thought of people feeling like they're alone. And we've all been there. I've certainly been there, but we're not alone. There's other people that can help support you. So please do feel reach out with absolutely zero obligation whatsoever. I'd always love to hear from you. Take care and have a good day. Bye for now.